Hello friends, and welcome back to Crazy for Crafting. So today I have a really simple project that can really add some flair and adorableness to your holiday table. And what I have for you today is a holiday, Christmas place card that you can sit if you're hosting Christmas dinner, sit one at each person's place. I make them kind of large because I like to sit them sort of in the middle of the plate. And I thought this guy was just too cute not to use. So it's a very simple project. And this is one that I finished for my stepdaughter. So what you'll find once you have cut this is you're going to have your blue base with the score line down the middle. You will have, there are some little pieces here. You're going to have the white name portion. And then I'm going to kind of show you all of these together because I don't want to lose any small pieces. You'll have the shiny sort of middle piece that goes behind the name. You're going to have a reindeer head, two teeny tiny little reindeer eyes, a reindeer nose, and two reindeer antlers. And you might notice, and I wanted to point out to you, of course, we know that most of the reindeer have black noses, but I like to throw a Rudolph in every now and then. You can even use metallic cardstock for him if you want to make him extra fancy. The other thing I wanted to point out is that this middle layer I kind of added just to give a little bit of bling or sparkle. So on this one you can see, and I did them two different ways just so I could show you what that would look like. This one I used a foil cardstock in kind of a wintry teal blue. And for the one that we're making together today, I'm going to be using a bit darker blue glitter cardstock. So we are going to start, I'm gonna dump off these little pieces and hope I don't lose them. We're going to start by going ahead and attaching the name to the glitter cardstock. As always, I'm using my Barely Art Precision Craft Glue. I've had this same bottle now for a good long while. I keep thinking it's going to run out and it keeps not running out. Just a note, if you are using glitter cardstock, and if you've done it before, you'll know, it does not really like to have things stuck to it. It's not an easy surface to glue on. So I will sometimes use a tad more glue if I'm gluing onto the glitter, and I'll press it down just a bit longer to help it grab hold. Now, if you are doing it with the metallic cardstock, like I did on the finished one, you'll want to be really careful when you're placing it that you don't put it down and then move it around a lot, because that will leave streaks on your metallic cardstock that you won't be able to get off. So we're going to do our best here to kind of center this and then really give it a good press down. I sometimes like to even turn it over and just really put some pressure on it. And it kind of depends too, in part, on what kind of glitter cardstock you're using. You know, some glitter cardstock is very coarse and rough. I find those are the ones where the glitter tends to kind of flake off, and that is the hardest I have found to stick to. Some glitter cardstock is a bit finer, and it feels rather smooth, and I found that that's a bit easier to glue to. So we've got that seems to be stuck pretty well. So let's go ahead and grab our card base. It has a score line down the middle. I did mine with my Maker 3, so I used the scoring wheel. You may have used the scoring stylus. Sometimes I'll just fold it in both directions. Often use my bone folder or my scraping tool to do that. So let's go ahead and apply the name piece to the actual card base, and then we'll add our little reindeer friend. I am contemplating trying to make a matching maybe napkin ring. So if I do come up with something that I like that coordinates with this, you will be the first to know. So we're gonna, again, now this will not center exactly. It's going to be wider in the middle. So you'll kind of want to center it vertically, and then you'll have a little bit of extra space on either end. It's not so bad sticking the glitter cardstock when you're gluing the back down because that is smooth. You know, some fun variations you could do is maybe play with the colors. You know, if you're really going for a very Christmassy red and green, maybe you do a red background, a green blingy section, and then you've got the white on the front. So you can play with that. You could also play with the font. I think this font is just adorable, but you could change the font. You could use glitter pens or metallic pens to write it with. I tend to use print for place cards because there are younger family members who can't read script or cursive. So we've got this together. Now we're going to go ahead and assemble our reindeer. And you know, deer come in different colors, like actual deer. So if you have slightly lighter paper or darker paper, or you want to mix it up and have, you know, reindeer of all sorts, you can do that. I'm gonna start with his nose. I think one of the things that makes this reindeer so cute is his big nose. So I kind of like to put the nose centered horizontally and maybe about not quite a 1/4 inch from the bottom. I don't have any markings just because I think every reindeer is unique. So it doesn't matter if their noses aren't identically placed. And then for the eyes, I like to kind of keep them, I don't know, maybe 1/2 inch above the nose. I find closer together is kind of cute. So I will often try to use a finger to pick these up, or sometimes I just take the pin that blocks up my glue bottle when I'm not using it and sort of use it as a pickup tool. And that works. I like to place the eyes vertically. I think that makes him have a cute little expression on his face. And luckily our glue dries clear, so if you do happen to get one little speck like I just did, you won't see it. And finally, the antlers. Now these are symmetrical pieces, but you want them, you know, facing in opposite directions because they're antlers. And so the way that I kind of did that, and you may like it another way, but I like to position it with this little short kind of piece out and sort of angled just a little bit. So I put the antlers where I want them. And then just apply a little bit of glue to the, I don't know, is it a stem? I don't really know what antler parts are called. And then we're gonna bring our head to it. I think that's a little easier. And just sort of place him there. And if you don't like the placement here, whoopsie, must have a little glue on my hands. This is your opportunity to sort of play with it before it starts to get tacky and stick. You know what, I just realized I have an antler upside down. So thank goodness the glue gives us just a moment to fiddle around and fix things because my reindeer was going to have, and you know, the funny thing is nobody would probably have noticed except for me, but I do like my work to be nice and neat. And you know, I know last year I had done place cards and some of the kids liked them so much they kept them and took them home. So I'd like them to be cute in case somebody does decide they want to save it. Now, as far as attaching the deer to the tag, I'm going to go ahead and use my foam dots just for a little bit of dimension, just to make that deer pop. And as always, you just want to have enough of these that it kind of adheres, you know, in a parallel, sturdy kind of a way. You don't want it to be sagging or uneven. So I always tend to go more on the dots rather than less. And then you're just going to peel the backing off. Still working on this set of 2,400 foam circles that I bought on Amazon. Gosh, I'm going to say 1.5 years, 2 years ago. And I use them a lot. Like when I'm card making, I use them almost every time. Okay, we're going to grab our little deer friend and lay this down. Now you can kind of decide whether you want him at the bottom or the top or somewhere in the middle. I sort of like to put him, I don't know, a little angled. And again, I think it's cute if they're not all identical. Everybody kind of gets their own unique little place card. So I will do these for everybody at my table. And then if I do come up with a coordinating napkin ring for these, which I think would be fun, I will absolutely post it here so that you can add this to your table as well. And, you know, I do encourage you to get creative. As I said, you can obviously change paper colors. You could use a patterned paper as long as it's sturdy enough to stand up. You can monkey with the font or the ink. You could even, if you didn't want a reindeer here, find another simple, you know, cut image. Maybe it's a stocking or a Santa Claus or some kind of a snowflake with a, you know, a rhinestone gem or something. So be creative. I cannot wait to see what you come up with. Thanks for watching. If you like this video, I'd love to have you subscribe to my channel. I'll be adding lots more content, and keep on crafting.